Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm Josh, aka the Cop Tribunal, and today I'm going to be doing a tactical breakdown of how Liverpool played and beat Como in the 2-0, and how Liverpool played in the first half against AS Monaco. That 100 and was it 35 minutes worth of play for me is the most indicative of how we're going to play going into the start of the season. I've got some photos to show you. I've got the tactical board set up. I'm going to walk you through how Liverpool managed to score in both games, especially in the Como game, getting a clean sheet, getting the win, and how I think we line up against Newcastle and the point of attack and avenue that we should go down to beat them first game of the season at St. James Park. Well, please do smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, click the notification bell, and comment as well if you like this style of video and if you want to see more of it. People, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up, so I've got the tactical board here, and you can see I've got all the players set up in the ideal positions. We're going to talk about the Monaco game first, and then we'll talk about the Como game. How we set up defensively, how we set up going forward, things I like, things I wasn't so keen on. Let me bring up the Monaco game. People, this is for the first Monaco goal, which was Alexander Isak's goal. So if I set this up with who's playing, so let me do this for you people. Went through, let me take, so let me put Simicast, it was Ndukwe, Frimpong, Verts, Gravenberch, Isak, it was Kumas, and not Rio playing. So where is Kumas? Kumas is there. So this is how we lined up. If I get everyone in the position, so you can see where Monaco's back line is positioned. So if I bring up the tactical board, so you can see the way we were set up, you had Gakpo, Simicas up just behind, oh, sorry, just in front of the line there. Let me actually bring this up so you guys can see it. You had, is that, honestly, oh, that's okay, that's Verts. Okay, so let me set this up. You had Verts there, Isak in the box, Kumas here, Frimpong there. So I sat there. Okay, so let me bring this up. Basically, people, where Liverpool had success this game was when they were up like this in possession for the first goal. You obviously have Gakpo. Let me bring the tactical tools up. You have Gakpo play the ball in to Soboslai, who gives the ball off to Gravenberch. So sorry people, this is my first time using the tactical board, who plays the ball into Gravenberch, who then plays the ball into Isak, who slots it in the bottom corner. Obviously 1-0 to Liverpool. What I think was very nice here from an offensive standpoint is the fact that when Gakpo's in possession, you have Soboslai, you have Verts who's taking hold of the channel, occupying space, keeping defenders occupied. Kumas on the far side, who is in plenty of space. In fact, let me bring it up so you can see. You see Kumas on the far side is open. Frimpong's attacking on the right-hand side. So this space here is occupied by Frimpong, and Kumas is attacking the back post. So the centre back, who is positioned here, has to focus on Kumas, which then leaves Isak in plenty of space for when Gravenberch plays that 1-2, gets the ball in. He was more on the halfway line, or sorry, on the edge of the box, gets the ball, and then he can just slot that one in the bottom corner. Wrong foots the keeper. Very, very nice goal. 1-0. Good link-up play between all the forwards. That's how we scored a goal. I think that's how we'll set up a lot. We're going to overload the box. We are going to have both our double pivot crash the box. You're going to have whoever's in the 10 most likely Florian Wirtz going to be occupying space in and around the box. So he is available for a channel pass. You're going to have the wingers on the ball in the wide areas, creating, on an ideal scenario, it's Barcola and Mbaye, but in this case, it was Gakpo. Gakpo occupying this space because you have the threat of Tsimikas in the overlap. You also have the threat of the underlap from Tsimikas. Because what Gakpo's shown in preseason is, I think a lot of under slot, he was very heliocentric. He wanted the ball. He wanted to cut inside and get a shot off. He's being more dynamic in preseason. He's making the outside runs. He's also playing the overlap more, which is a huge help. Good thing with Tsimikas as well is because Tsimikas has very good delivery, regardless of what people say, he does have a good cross on him. He can now, if that ball is played in, he can play that ball in first time to Isak, who again the defenders have to worry about because you have Wirtz there, Isak, Kumas, Frimpong, Soboslai, Gravenberch all crashing into the box. And if you have Gravenberch lurking outside, which we'll get onto in another point, lurking outside. So if the header gets clear, let me clear all that actually. Let me remove all that. So if the ball is cleared out from, if the ball is cleared out, let's say to the edge of the box, you then have Gravenberch who can hit that, can choose to play a pass either side. Because the defense is rushing out to him, then you will see an opening. Whether that's to the fullbacks, to the wingers, to Wirtz in the 10, or if he takes a shot on for himself. So that right there is an opportunity of what we didn't do last season. We weren't smart in our attacking. We weren't smart in the way we crashed the box, the way we got chances to the striker. Straight away, we see a boost in confidence there, something that we didn't see on the slot, something that I think we can look forward to seeing more going into next season. Next example, so yeah, you see, if I bring it up there, you see actually Gravenberch had gone into the box. He had continued his run, and you had Gakpo come inside and Tsimikas a bit forward. But the players knew where they were meant to be. Gakpo was crashing into the box, trying to get a rebound or played the pass through to him. And then you obviously had Van Dijk and Ndukwe sitting back round about the halfway line just before it to stop the counter. Obviously, Frimpong, Tsimikas, Kumas, Soboslai, all very quick to get back on in the case of a counter-attack. If I set these guys back up in position, so we can move on to the second goal. There we are. So if we move on to the second goal, so the way this position is set up, you have 5 people pretty much inside that tight, congested area of the midfield. So you have, let me make sure I get this right for you guys. Okay, cool. I've accustomed that to memory. So let me bring this up. So you have Van Dijk over here. You have Kumas. Still, my memory is awful today. Okay, cool. You have Kumas occupying the space here. Frimpong is very far wide. You have Wirtz as the most forward man. Isak dropping deep with Gakpo, with Gravenberch. You have Soboslai very deep. Tsimikas is pushed up. And what happens here is, which I really did enjoy because you can see it there. I'll show you the clip. So basically, Soboslai plays the ball to Frimpong. Frimpong plays Kumas through. Kumas plays the ball over the top. Gakpo heads it down. We get the goal. I'll walk you through it. Let me bring this back up again. Apology, people. It's my first time doing the tactical breakdown, so it's not super cohesive, but I'm trying to get my point through to you guys. What I really liked was the use of the fullbacks in this game, or the wing backs. You see Soboslai played that pass to Frimpong in that deep position because these guys occupying the space in here, they all offer threats in the attack. Frimpong was left open. So you have the defender here who I'm gonna represent in. So you got the defense here. There, that's the bulk of the defense. These little black dots are gonna be the opposition. You have the bulk of the defense there, which allows Frimpong to play the ball through to Kumas. Kumas is able to get a hold of that. Let me actually put a ball in. So you're able to get a hold of that. The ball's played through to Kumas. Kumas is then able to cut that one across to the oncoming. That's an Isak. Also, actually, and then you have Gakpo at the back post as well. That's an Isak more central. You have Gakpo at the back post. Kumas then plays a really nice ball all the way to Gakpo. Ball's headed across, verts Isak crashing. Gakpo heads the ball across. Bit of a kerfuffle in the end. Verts taps it in. It is 2-0. But very dynamic, very direct play from Soboslai to get the ball to Frimpong. Frimpong to use the underlapping run of Kumas. Kumas played a very nice ball win. Gakpo direct with his header, didn't try to take a touch, didn't try to overcomplicate things. And then having two bodies in the middle caused confusion, allowed for us to get the second goal. Let me clear this as well because it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows in this game. There is one instance I want to talk about defensively. I think the other two goals can probably be chalked up to personnel. This scenario for me was what was worrying. And I'll tell you why. So look at this scenario here. You have three at the back. Tsimikas is very far over on the touchline, so leaving that area exposed. You've got Gakpo, Verts, Soboslai, Kumas, and Gravenberch all tracking back. You can't even see Isak in this photo. But when we're on the counter attack, we are left exposed at the back. Let me set this up before I do it all. Can I bring the opposition team onto the pitch? I don't think I can bring the opposition team on, but it is what it is. Alright, cool. So actually I must be able to because I did it. How did I do that? This is all new to me, people, so apologies. Oh well, I'll figure out for the next time, but I'll just put it up at circles where they were. So we get counterattacked. We lose the ball. And you know what? The defenders, to be fair to them, let me take this off so you can see this. The defenders, to be fair to them, are sat back in the position. Frimpong and Kirkes hadn't moved up. Isak is still up here. You have Kumas who's tracking back. Let me put the ball on the. You have Kumas who's tracking back. So the ball is getting played through us. Ball's getting played through direct. You have runners here, and here on top of midfield runners as well. The ball is getting played through us from the central midfielder. So the ball is here. You then have Gravenberch, Soboslai, Gakpo, and Verts all tracking back, but not necessarily as much as we are as quick as we would like to stop the counter attack. Obviously, in the end, we do give away the penalty. For me, this is where the struggles will come this season. I think if you push the two sixes or the double pivot, whatever you want to call them, or classify them as up too high, I think you leave us too exposed on the counter attack. We're left with a 4v4 or a 5v4 on occasion. Soboslai, Gravenberch, Gakpo, Verts, and the forward line are forced to come back. Ball moves quicker than them. They get the ball into a really nice position. Ball's here. Cuts outside Van Dijk in the box. Van Dijk fouls, gives away the penalty. Now, I'm not going to chalk that all down to Van Dijk because mistakes happen. Very tight-knit situation. No minimal margin for error, room for error. For me, the midfield should be more sturdy on the counter-attack. That's always been my issue with us not having a proper 6/DM. We need to be more repugnant on the defense, more solid. Where this comes from, and I spoke about this on Monts's channel, so big up Monts for that. When the opposition have the ball, this is where I wish I had the. I've got to be able to have the opposition team here somewhere. Let me. How did I get these guys on the pitch? Okay, cool. I can just do. That's their 9. I'm just gonna put random positions on people so you kind of get a glimpse of what I'm talking about with these guys. I know none of them are the actual numbers of the opposition team. It is what it is. The way I imagine us playing this season is as so. Let's say the ball is with the opposition left centre back. I imagine Soboslai is going to make a darting diagonal run to press the opposition centre back, forcing him. And sorry, in which instance the rest of the team's press is triggered. Kumas moves on to the left back. Verts moves on to the midfielder. Gravenberch holds the space there. Gakpo occupies that area, and Simicas occupies this middle area. I don't want him hugging the right back, and I'll tell you why. So let's say Sobslai triggers the press. Get rid of this arrow. Click on it. There we are. No, messed up again. Delete. There we are. Sobslai triggers the press onto this man. He either has to try play the ball in which case we win the ball back into a occupied area, or a player is pressing. Go long, in which case I'm confident enough in our centre backs to win the header. Gravenberch can drop deep, collect the ball, we can play out. Or he can try and play an over the top ball. So in this case, he could play the ball over the top to the right wing. Van Dijk gets out to him, potentially wins the ball. He might not. Or if the ball's a bit under hit, this is why I want Simicas occupying this middle area. If he plays the ball over the top, but the ball's a bit under hit, Simicas gets back and wins the ball back. His other option is then to play the ball to the right back, in which case Isak comes off his man. Simicas actually drops back onto his man. You push Gakpo forward, you push Gravenberch forward. Now look at the suffocation on the pitch. Number 4's open, and if they play the ball to number 4, which in the instance like Monaco, they did, and they got the counter attack. Obviously, we're still learning the press. But in situations like this, you suffocate the opposition. We saw it a lot on the club. You've seen a lot of great pressing teams do this. It's nothing new. It's not groundbreaking stuff. But then same thing. Either he plays the ball back to the keeper, you flood the keeper. And actually you drop Gravenberch back in that situation. The keeper's forced to go long, you win the header. Or apologies, or the right back again is just forced to go long, in which case Duque wins it. Now, if the right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold or Reece James or a player like that, and he plays that ball, around Gakpo, then you could be in trouble. In which case, I would want my right centre back to step up, be aggressive because Frimpong would come inside, cover the space, be aggressive, try and win the ball back. It's not perfect. It will get caught up. We will concede goals because of it, but I think it's our best bet with the personnel we've got in terms of winning the ball up high. So, ideal scenario for this would be right back's got the ball. He tries to play the ball. It's a power ball. Gravenberch wins it. Gakpo verts to whoever gets the ball. And now they're caught out of position. We have the chance to win it up high, cause problems, score goals, especially in that first half where I feel we're going to be very high intensity. So for me, I think that's our route to victory from what I saw in the Monaco game. I want to move on to the Como game because for me, I was very happy with this game. I'm going to bring this up. This is the start of the first goal. So let me get this set up. Let me do Frimpong. Van Dijk, Simicas, obviously, and Duque is out. And Jacquet is in. Kirkes is in for Simicast. Where's Kirkes? Kirkes is in. Obviously, you still have Gravenberch. You still have Bosley. Swap them over. Verts is drop deep. Kumas is out. And Rio's on the right wing. Isak there, Verts there. Gakpo wide. So the way this one was set up was you had Vikas was occupying there. They had Gravenberch as the guy in the middle, occupying the space there. Then they had their two wingers quite narrow. Let me bring this up. And then they had the two sixes quite close to the wingers. Verts was occupying that channel there. Isak was up there. Kirkes was there. Frimpong was wide. Rio was wide. And so we set up like this. Let me bring it up. So we were set up like this for the first goal. Now, what really worked for us here was, first of all, Jeremy Jacquet, what performance he had. If you want my thoughts on that, I did my player ratings, in which I think he was man of the match. I'm not going to spoil too much for that. Please go check it out. Also spoke about it on Kai's channel, Monster's channel. Very impressed with Jacquet in the first 45 minutes. Where our success came from here was Jacquet played that ball into Frimpong. And I've got to give Frimpong credit for this goal because Frimpong was exceptional. What Frimpong did really well was everyone knows Frimpong's threat is the overlap. He wants to use his pace to get to the outside of you and cut the ball back. Where I think he caught Como napping in this game was he ran with the ball, and because Verts is such a threat, he drags the centre mid with him. Centre back steps up. Isak was just about offside. I think he was just about there. Obviously, Rio's there, and they recognize the threat of Rio. They don't want to. They want to stop the overlap. Frimpong comes all the way inside with the ball, right as the centre back's about to step up. Actually, Isak's this side, isn't he? Right, and Gakpo comes inside. Right as the centre back's about to step up, Frimpong plays a beautiful pass into the space there. This fullback is completely napping. Gakpo runs into the space. The centre back tries to get there. Gakpo takes a good touch into the corner. Frimpong does extremely well for the assist there, offering dynamism, not just abusing the outside, abusing his pace, but coming inside, creating a threat there as well. Obviously, Verts, Isak occupying space and width, centralness, I should say. Rio occupying the width. Gakpo with a very nice run inside, caught the right back and the centre back off. A very good touch, but it was a very good ball from Frimpong, just over the top of the centre back's head. So when he tried to commit, he just missed the header, and then obviously he's off balance. Takes him too long to adjust. By that time, Gakpo has scored the goal. I think what stands out in this goal for me is we didn't get the midfielders too involved. So Soboslai and Gravenberch were hardly advanced. If I bring the graphic up, you see Kirkes. Let me take this back off again. Kirkes is occupying that more central role. Soboslai drifts out wide, but they're still only on about the halfway line, or just in front of the halfway line, actually. So obviously these players drop back, but they're not a threat to the goal of Como, which is a good thing because we need to be able to score goals in different ways, switch things up, be versatile, be different. We can't just have the midfielders box crash and overload them with numbers. We have to be technically better than them, score goals with our mind, with our technical ability, not just abuse the numbers into the box, because then we do get caught on the counter attack. Another thing was Kirkez was very inverted in this game. There was a point in the game where Kirkez was over on this side, had the ball, tried to go for a little run, got tackled right there. But Kirkez was very inverted in this game, which we've seen quite a lot. Simicast came over to this side in the Monaco game as well. So the fullback, especially the left back, looks becoming very inverted. Frimpong very inverted as well for the goal, of course. The second goal we scored was from the corner. So let me set this one up. This one's going to be a pain in the arse to set up. Yeah, Sobo. Got a player on the box there. Apologies, people. This will take me just a second. I'm just getting it set up so everything's nice and neat for you guys. It was very, very congested. And obviously you have Dyke and Isak, and then Verts behind. Gakpo's at the back post. Gravenberch was there. Jacquet was there. Kirkes was there. Frimpong was back. Rio was about there. Cool. So one thing I've noticed, especially in the set pieces this season, is Van Dijk, and Van Dijk's always done this, but it's been more effective so far in preseason. Van Dijk's hovering right at the edge of the box, so when Soboslai takes that out swinging corner, which we know he loves to do, let me not do that because that's out of. I was gonna say that's out of the pitch. I would love it if I could grab that. Thank you. Soboslai plays that out swinging corner. Obviously, ball goes to Van Dijk. And Van Dijk won about 3 to 4 duels here. Obviously, a very congested area. Van Dijk wins the ball, heads it, gets cleared out, wins it again. The ball comes to Gakpo. If I clear this, then plays a very nice ball across. And of course, who else but the man who had the best debut ever gets it in, taps it in. It's a very congested goal. The defense actually steps up. And these guys drop back. But I think it was a couple of players. I can't remember exactly who. But Jacquet has the freest tapping of his life. But I know we dug Arsenal out for the set pieces last season, but set pieces are an important part of football. I'm liking what I'm seeing with them. We seem to be winning a lot of headers. Even in the end of the first half against Leeds, Van Dijk should have scored from a set piece. So we are getting opportunities from set pieces. Very nice play. Van Dijk still looking very dominant in the air. So set pieces hopefully will be another notch on our belt this season. Moving on to the goal we conceded, which was sorry, not that we didn't concede a goal. Moving on to a chance we conceded, which I didn't like. The fact that we gave up. Let me clear all of this hocus pocus. Frimpong is there. Let me move. Jacquet's gone at this point. You have Araujo there. Van Dijk is running back. Is that Soboslai Kirkes? Kirkes is sprinting just behind Van Dijk. Neoni's in at this point. So Neoni's just about there. Soboslai's busting his balls to get back. And then the rest of the players are off screen. So you have him there with Araujo, him there with the ball, him there on the halfway line, and then him just ahead of Soboslai. Okay, cool. So we can now work this one through. I'll talk you guys through this one as well. Last thing we're going to talk about, because I don't want to keep this one super long. So basically, we get counter-attacked from our mistake. We lose the ball. Very good ball over the top to the right winger, who runs with it. Araujo comes out. Van Dijk comes back. Obviously, these guys are pushing forward. Everyone's pushing forward. Everyone gets back. But it is a very nice ball in. And they do get back, to be fair to them, but do still give the chance away. And Hassan Diao has a very good opportunity right at the edge of the box. I would actually have bet that he would have scored it. But he did blast it over the bar. Normally, he would put it there. It could even have gone across goal for Allison. But a very good chance, or very bad chance to give up comes from our own fruition, not having enough people back on the counter-attack. Araujo does very well in terms of cutting off certain angles and certain roads to them scoring. Frimpong should probably get a bit tighter to his man. But look, anyone is susceptible to counter-attack. I've seen some of the best teams concede goals on the counter-attack, so it's not a huge deal. Hassan Diao was a very tricky customer, so it's not the end of the world. We didn't concede from it, so at the end of the day, no harm, no foul. But situations like that where you would prefer having a sitting 8 or at least a sit-in ball winner or a 6 preferably, so when that counter-attack comes, then instead of just having Frimpong and Araujo back, you have a 6 here. So when that ball gets played, he collects it. And now Hassan Diao doesn't even have the shot. So basically just someone who can sweep up, get them passes, doesn't have to control it. He can clear it out or for a throw in or even pass it back to the keeper if he's confident enough to do that. But that's where we need a sit-in 6, the ball winner, someone who's defensively switched on to play alongside a Gravenberch, Soboslai, or whoever in the double pivot. For me, that's where we're going to be susceptible this season. Last thing I want to talk about is how I think we're going to set up against Newcastle. So for me, against Newcastle, if I bring up the teams, I think we will see a similar back four. Actually, let me get rid of these Newcastle. Let me get rid of these players because we don't need them. I want to show how we're lining up against Newcastle. They're not important to be there. So I think we line up first game of the season against Newcastle very similar to how we lined up against Como in the second half. I see Araujo starting that game. I think he looked fitter. Didn't look as tired after 45 minutes as Xhaka did. I think we'll see Xhaka in that game. And if we did see potentially Araujo at right back, Xhaka come in at centre back, and you play a very defensive back four, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think because the way we could play with that situation is instead of having the fullbacks bomb up and keeping Gravenberch back to make that back four or back three, sorry, in possession, and this is only in possession. For me, then you have that as the back three. You have Soboslai as the right hand side, Bertz and Gravenberch push up. Perkez assists on the overlap to Cody Gakpo. And for me, that is just as effective. I actually like that more because you have 3 natural centre backs in possession. So the counter attack, we're less susceptible to the counter attack. And then also you have the bombing pace of Kirkez, Soboslai getting back. Gravenberch can get back, obviously not as quick. Verts will track back, Gakpo and Rio can track back as well. But I like more having the 3 centre-backs than Gravenberch in a back 3 in possession, which we might not play from what we've seen. Gravenberch has been bombing forward. We've left 2 at the back at times, which I don't want. I think that's way too exposed. I would still want a back 3 in possession. But I could see it being a back 2, depending on the opposition. If we're playing a weak opposition, you might see that. If we're playing Man City, we're not going to leave Van Dijk and Xhaka or Van Dijk and Araujo at the back. But for me, that is outside of figuring out who's going to play right back and centre back, the left centre back and left back onwards for me is almost pretty much nailed on who's going to play where. So I think you have guaranteed starters: Alisson, Van Dijk, Kerkez, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, Verts, Rio, Isak. That's 9 players guaranteed to start against Newcastle, in my opinion, and barring injuries, of course. I think the 2 question marks is, do you see Araujo and Frimpong? Or do you see... Where's Frimpong, actually? Where's Jeremy? And Frimpong, and then you move to... Oh, Van Dijk's gone now as well. Oh, my days, man. And then you move to a back 3 of that in possession. Or are we better off for doing this, and then you bomb these guys forward, and you make that as the back 3 in possession? Those are the 2 options. Personally, I would go for the second one and play Araujo and Xhaka. I think Newcastle are a very physical team. I would want as much physicality in that defense as possible to try and counteract that. People, it is my first tactical breakdown, so please go easy on me in the comments. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree with any of the points I've made. If there's anything else you want to see, any games from last season potentially you want me to do a tactical breakdown on. I've just spotted there's a spider on my ring light, so that's about to get slimed out. But if you enjoy the video, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Turn the notification bell on as well. Make sure you check out everyone's channel who's been a part of my journey so far. And if you want to see any more tactical breakdown videos, let me know what you want to see me break down. But yeah, people, I've had a really nice time in doing this. Really enjoyed it, talking about football. We laugh and we joke a lot. I think it's nice to talk about football on a serious level. People, have a lovely morning, evening, or afternoon. It's becoming a bit of a catchphrase now for me, I think. But have a lovely morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're watching. Please do like and subscribe, comment as well. See you all in the next one. Peace.
The boots go quiet now on the stair to the stand. Sweat on the scarf rails, mud on your hand. We said our piece out loud, let the whistle pass. Now the hard red night turns soft in the glass. No more fight in the room, no more chasing the call. Just the hum in my chest and the weight of it all. The crowd walked home slow through the rain on the lane. I can feel my pulse settle back again. Cop tribunal, we can breathe tonight. Cop tribunal, everything feels right. One more slow nod, then the dark can go. Cop tribunal, let it fade low. Old songs in the seams of the coat I wore, broken nail on the glass, scuffed heel on the floor. I held on to the noise like a coin in my palm. Now the edge is gone and the silence is calm. Your face in the final light, not a fight, not a